Good afternoon, gentlemen. My name is Ricardo Galzanes, and today I'll be giving you a speech about hunger in America. Think back to the last time that you felt hungry. What did you do about it? Did you go out and buy yourself something to eat? Or did you stay at home and make yourself a meal? Or did you have to hope that you would even be able to eat it all? Well, hunger is an epidemic that is facing this country. Let's take a look at the numbers. There are an estimated 42 out of 325 million Americans who face hunger. Hunger is spread throughout the entire country, with the southern region being affected the most. Some states, like Texas for example, have 4 million people who face food hunger insecurity. Another state that has its population in the millions that faces hunger is Arizona. Anyone can be affected by hunger: children, elderly, and even adults. Children are especially at higher risks of being affected by hunger, considering that food provides the human body nutrients to perform common tasks. Children experiencing hunger are more likely to have problems with memory and concentration because they do not have the energy to carry out these common tasks. The elderly facing hunger also face their own problems. An estimated 60% of the elderly population can develop depression due to hunger, not to mention that their bodies also need nutrients in order for them to perform these common tasks. Many may argue that America does not have a hunger problem, but rather an obesity problem. However, obesity is a result of hunger. In many low-income areas, people have to stretch out their finances, and a lot of the times that means cutting down on their food spending. Many people would rather buy cheap, unhealthy foods to fill their stomach rather than spend the same amount on healthy foods, however a less amount. Poverty is the biggest reason for hunger in this country. An estimated 94 million Americans live below the federal poverty line. Due to the low income, many people have to cut their food spending in order to pay bills such as rent and mortgage. Having stretched their income, they are going to look for cheap, unhealthy foods to fill their stomachs. I myself have seen this happen. When I was 7, I lived with my grandparents in a small town in a city in Nevada. Sometimes we would go to a small building, and in that building they would give us boxes of food. And as a child, I would be thrilled because we would be getting boxes of food. However, as I grew up and became an adult, I spoke with my grandparents, and they had explained to me that the building that we would go to was actually a food bank where they would give us food, and that they would have to go there because they would have to choose paying the mortgage over buying food. There are many things that we can do to help fight hunger. We can donate, or we can even volunteer our own time. Food donations are very common ways for people to help. Sometimes schools have food drives, hospitals, and even fire stations. Restaurants can also donate food rather than spending and wasting food in the trash. Donating food to food banks is a great way for people to help. Food banks are great locations for people who are facing hunger and do not have the money to buy more than their allotted amount of food. For example, the food bank, which is run by Feeding America, has over 58,000 facilities which provides meals and programs for those who face hunger. Many restaurants will throw out leftover food or food close to its expiration date in the garbage. Around 80% of these restaurants throw their food out for concerns of liability for any food that may be donated. However, due to the Bill Emerson Good Samaritan Act, restaurants will not be held liable for any food that is donated. There are other ways that you can help fight hunger other than donations. You can volunteer your time. Some cities are starting community gardens where people will volunteer their time to help grow their own food for their own neighborhoods or for other neighborhoods. For example, in the city of Chicago, there's a local community that has started its own food garden. And with all the food that is then harvested from that food garden, it is donated to the local food pantry. Another city that has community gardens is Detroit in Michigan. Those gardens are all provided freely to neighborhoods who ask for them, thanks to organizations that donate the money in order for those community gardens to be started. Hunger is a great issue in America. Over 42 million Americans face hunger. Food banks are a great way for those who need help to find food and to not be hungry. Community gardens are also another great way for people to volunteer their time and help not only grow food for others, but also grow food for themselves. We can all make a difference and ensure that no one ever goes hungry in this great nation again. Thank you.